Hello everyone, Miss Meek here, and today we are going to talk about solving inequalities. Now what's really cool is if you know how to solve an equation, you know how to solve an inequality. It is the exact same process. We are also going to be practicing graphing our answers on a number line because we just can't get enough practice on doing that. Now one big distinction between equations and inequalities, again, remember is that we can have multiple solutions, which is why we shade on our number line. We're showing every answer that could make this inequality true, every answer that could be X. Another thing is that inequality answers have to be written in a certain order. It's written in as variable, inequality symbol, and then number. And so you'll see on a couple of our examples that will not be written in the correct order, and we will rewrite it because, again, our symbol has to be a certain way to represent what it actually means. And so we have to make sure we're reading it correctly. And rewriting it can help us do that. So let's go ahead and take a look here at number one. If you remember how to solve an equation, then you know how to solve an inequality. So here we go. I have x plus 11. I want x to be completely by itself on this left side here. And so to do that, I'm going to undo that plus 11 by subtracting 11. And remember, whatever I do on one side, you have to do to the other. When I do that, these 11s are going to go away, leaving me x by itself. And so then 12 minus 11 is going to give me a 1. So my answer is x is going to be all of the numbers less than or equal to 1. So over on my number line over here, the number we're talking about is a 1. All right, I ask myself, is 1 less than 1? No, it's not. But with this symbol, we have a second option. Is 1 equal to 1? Yes, it is. So I get to shade this circle in. And then I'm going to shade on my number line all of the numbers that are less than 1, because that's what it says. It says the x's are less than 1. And so that means it's going to be 0 is an x, -1, -2. All of these numbers could potentially be that x in our problem. And so I'm going to shade all of the numbers to the left. And there you go. Let's take a look at number 2. 3x is greater than 15. That 3 and that x are stuck together there with multiplication glue. This is 3 times x. How do we undo multiplication? Well, to undo multiplication, we divide. And so I'm going to divide by 3 to get that 3 away from the x. Remember that whatever I do on one side, I have to do to the other. These are going to equal 1x, which is exactly what I wanted. My symbol is greater than, that doesn't change. And then 15 divided by 3 is 5. So over here on my number line, the number we're talking about here as our solution is 5. And now we have to determine what can we shade in. Now plug in that 5. Is 5 greater than 5? No, it is not. And this does not have a second option. There is no equal to on this symbol. So that means that is going to stay open. That circle is not going to get shaded in because 5 is not greater than 5. However, we do have some numbers on our number line that is greater than 5. And so I'm going to be shading all of those numbers to the right. These numbers over here to the right are the numbers that are going to be greater than 5 that make my final answer here true. All right, let's take a look at a couple more. Here are some that are written in a backwards order. Again, we want to write them in a certain order so that way we make sure that we read them correctly and understand the value of them. So let's take a look at number 3. It says 7 is less than or equal to x minus 10. So we're going to go ahead and solve this. Again, I have a minus 10 attached to my x. To get rid of that, I need to add 10, and I need to add 10 to both sides. Remember, those rules of equality also apply to not only equations but inequalities as well. These 10s are going to cancel away, leaving me x all alone by itself. Okay, and then 7 plus 10 is 17. Now notice the way that this is written. It is number, symbol, letter. We do not want it written that way. We want it to be written letter, symbol, number. So real quick, I'm going to rewrite this. X is going to come over here and be first. And then take a look at your symbol. When you look at your symbol, notice that this big end here is pointed at X. I don't want that to change, so make sure that you write your symbol correctly, because what this symbol is saying is that X is greater than or equal to 17. If you write it the way it's written already, you're going to mess up the order. And again, this is why we're rewriting it, so that way you make sure that you understand what it actually means. And then I write my number 17 here. So this is our final answer. Again, we wanted to rewrite it into letter, symbol, and then number. So the number that we're talking about here is 17. I'm going to circle that on my number line. Now, is 17 greater than 17? No, but check out this symbol. We have a second option. Is 17 equal to 17? Yes, it is. So I get to shade in that 17. And then it says X is greater than 17. So I get to shade in all of the numbers greater than 17, which are going to be all of these numbers to the right. All right, on this last one, we have 6 is greater than X divided by 4. Remember this little symbol right here, this fraction means divided by. This is our algebraic way to show division. So the way that I undo division, remember the way that I undo division is to multiply. So to get rid of that 4 attached to my X, I'm going to multiply by 4 on both sides. When I do that, this cancels down to 1X. And then 4 times 6 is 24. Now, as you notice, this is actually written in a backwards order as well. I want my variable, my symbol, and then my number. So I'm going to rewrite this. Here is my variable. Now, notice my symbol. My symbol is the little end here, the less than end, is pointing towards X. So when I rewrite it, I want to make sure that that is still happening here. And then I have 24. So the number that we're talking about here on our number line is 24. Is 24 less than 24? No, it is not. And there is no equal to sign. So this circle is going to stay open. I cannot shade it in because 24 is not less than 24. Can't be less than what you are. However, all the numbers that I do get to shade in are going to be all of the numbers less than 24 because it says X is less than 24. So that means that I get to shade in all of the numbers less than 24. So that's all of the numbers to the left. Again, I'm drawing an arrow on the end because if my number line kept going, so would my shading. All right, so this is how we solve inequalities. Again, it's a very similar system process as solving equations. So if you are confused about how to solve equations, you may want to check out that video just to get a quick refresher in case this went too fast for you. And again, we also reviewed how to graph inequalities as well. So I hope that this helped clear up any confusion that you had, and I will talk to you later. Bye.